Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Edain Mod for Middle-earth 2, The Rise of the Witch King. Today we are doing the Elves of Lothlorien, the only faction, I believe, that I haven't actually shown off in some way or another. And I think I just built two sanctuaries by mistake. Let's get rid of one of them for the Lothlorien quarters, and that's a wild pit. Wild cage even, whatever it is. Not a good start. Not a good start. But I mean, if we kill those wargs, that's a good start. So, Elves of Lothlorien, as you can immediately tell, we have these. We start with the lowest number of build plots in our centre. Why is this, you might ask? Because, well, the Elves of Lothlorien are a bit different to other factions. All their units, heroes, upgrades, all their units and heroes come from the Citadel. So the one faction that hasn't really been changed too much by the recent change that heroes come from different buildings is Lorien, or at least what you might think. But if you don't build the Border Guard House, you don't build the Sanctuary, and you don't build the Forge Works, you don't have access to Haldir, Celeborn, or Galadriel. Haldir comes from the Border Guard House, Celeborn comes from the Smith, and Galadriel comes from the Sanctuary. Otherwise, you only have Rumen and Orphan. So yeah, you do have a very confusing start if you don't know about that change. But other than that, Lothlorien has suffered very little change. But I thought I might as well talk about them, because the last video I did on Edain was me complaining about Isengard, which, apologies to one of my viewers, Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was originally going to do your challenge video instead of this video, but, and this is a very unfortunate but, firstly, Isengard is busted right now, as I've already shown. I've tried for 2 hours straight playing as Lothlorien and all the different dwarven factions to try and beat Isengard. I failed every time. It started with Brute AIs, obviously stood no chance. Medium AI, well, not medium AI, Hard AI still stood no chance. Medium AI still was a pain in the ass, and I was just whining the entire time. So yeah, that you'll never see, thank God. But I'm hopefully going to show off Lothlorien a little bit of justice, because they are one of my favorite. When they first came out, they were my favorite faction until Enlargers came out. Because firstly, elves, I love elves. Secondly, I managed to once played on the 6-player. I think it's Celeborn map. Basically, where you have a big one area is healed up, one area is not healed up. And there's the cut in the centre. There's only 2 ways between the 3 different player maps. It was a complete 6-player free-for-all, and that was Lothlorien. And I had made that game last for 3 hours. It was so fun, and it was one of the reasons. Well, one of the things that made Lothlorien so fun for me, because on the fortress map, on the fortress design, you get, instead of full walls, you get little parapets and ladders you can move your units up across, which is extremely unique, and the first time it's actually been done in Middle-earth. One's done in Middle-earth 1, not in 2, not in Rise of the Witch King, not in any other mod has that been introduced. It was completely brand new to Edain Mod, and even though it had a few problems to begin with, once they fixed it, it is so fun to just sit on the walls and just defend your fortress. It's so fun. I must admit, it is very fun to do. But enough about saying things that are fun. Let us talk about your units. So your first units are the Lorien Warriors. All your first 3 units that can come from the Border Guard House, the March Warriors, Archers, and Pike Guards, all have the ability Patrol of the March Wardens. The smaller the number of March Wardens on patrol, the more agile they become. If there are 3 or less battalions, the March Wardens gain... I'll move 20% faster. This was an ability that originally was when they had more, they would move faster. But that got put into Ered Luin when they became more of a scout nation. And then that got taken out again when they just got an active speed boost. I think. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. Another thing that makes Lothlorien so strong, well not strong but fun in my opinion, is the fact that you get all your buildings instantly come with arrow defenses. Well, as archers defending them on your on the flats. So you instantly have that just guaranteed defense. And also we get Mirkwood. So how can you say this faction is not one of your favourites when you get access to Mirkwood as well as Lothlorien? However, the Edain team has mentioned that they're bringing out 2 more factions, I think, other than the Misty Mountains. And that makes me wonder, what are those factions going to be? Because I don't think it's going to be Mirkwood, because they're incorporated to Lothlorien. Unless they do a massive overhaul to Lothlorien, which I feel like just be more of a pain in the ass than it needs to be. But you never know. I don't know. I could be very wrong on that. They could be doing this change to bring in Mirkwood. I personally think it's going to be the nation of Umbar as a separate faction with a fun slave mechanic, which means they can enslave other human factions. Other human factions units to make their own in a fun mechanic kind of way, and the Men of the East, which technically aren't the Black Numenorians, so the men of the Haradrim, the men of Khand, and the men of Rune, because currently Harad and Rune are only shown off in Mordor as reinforcement units instead of being fully fledged recruitable units like they are in Age of the Ring. Also, Khand isn't introduced. I want to see some Khand, so I think that's what they'll include in the as the last 2 factions after the Misty Mountains. Because I don't personally think they'll make Mirkwood a separate faction. They could. They've definitely got the stuff for it. They've still got all their units from the past in Edain 3.8. They could include as well. They've got units from some place like even Age of the Ring if they wanted to. They could do a quick collab with the Age of the Ring team. Get some extra stuff from that. Yes, get some extra stuff from that. They could take some ideas from the RJ mod for the units. Oh, that's a Nazgul. Don't need archers for that. No, don't need archers. Don't need pikemen for that. Archers are good enough. The best thing to know about the main thing about Lothlorien is archers are all you need. Remember that, and you should make it a long way. Because honestly, that is all you need. I must say, they are bringing out some of their... Oh, that's Kamul. Oh dear. How dear, where are you? Oh yeah, that's now a passive around you. That's good. Why are my units red? All right, the Black Uruks. Oh, don't die! Don't die! Don't die! Don't die! Don't die! Okay, Kamul's dead. And so is Rumil. If I don't heal him, oh no! No, I didn't heal him in time. He's dying to poison. No, how dare you are not going to die to poison today. I'm a little bit lax with the AI recently. I think it's just because I'm too used to them in Age of the Ring being a bit more somber and you can actually defend better. Yes, use Arrow Storm, which has been nerfed a bit. The radius has been reduced slightly, but I don't actually notice the difference. But yeah, the range has been slightly reduced. Against normal orcs, insta-kill, obviously. Against anything else, weakness to... extra armor reduction to arrow fire. Makes sense. You've already pierced them. Just pierce them even more. Yeah, all you need to do is stay close to the fortress. I don't care if you die, Rumil, because I want you to die so I can get Orifin back. Or Orifin, I want you to die so I can get Rumil back. Oh, one got away, one got away, one got away, yes. One got away, he will heal and he will bring more. We could start getting silver thorn arrows, but I don't want to waste 700 on my basic troops yet, because I'm not making enough money to support that. I want Celeborn. Because the problem with AI above medium difficulty is they like to spam their heroes. I've shown it off with Isengard. I've seen it with Gondor, with every faction. But unlike any other faction, unlike every other faction, Isengard, I know I'm moaning about Isengard again, but I promise this is one of the last times I'm going to be doing it. One of the last times. Isengard also spams out siege equipment. Heroes, siege equipment, and troops are just the trifecta. You have all three of them, you can destroy enemy fortress just like that. And that's why Isengard is so strong, because they can spam them out. They spam them out instantly. I don't like it. Isengard is just too good. And it's not because their units are too strong, or their heroes are too strong, or Sharku. It is just the fact that everything is just not it's not well balanced. The actual... Sorry, no. Crap. I've already forgotten what I was actually going to say this. It's just difficult, because you can't go for all three of the great things: heroes, units, and siege equipment. You have to focus on economy. You have to focus on... oh yeah, and obviously Isengard, one faction that doesn't need to worry about economy because they have great econ. Oh, Morgul Riders, what the hell? Alright, they've got Minas Morgul, not Dol. But they can't come all anyway because, you know, they can cheat like that. Oh, there's Morgul Riders. Kill them, don't let them get strong enough that they can actually do some good stuff against us. I should probably invest in Palace Guards. They would really help against these Morgul Riders. And Trolls, when they bring out Trolls. Oh, speak of the devil. Yep, let's invest in some Palace Guards. They're 900 each, but they are worth it. Come on, Haldir, let us go in. Celeborn at your lord at your side. Let's get some more archers. Not from here. Let's get Thranduil's mobilization so we can get more troops from Thranduil's halls quicker. Let's get some more Lothlorien archers, so we have some archers. Let's get the Band of Protection, so enemies lose armor when surrounding the Melon tree. I already wasted 1,000 by not having my troops near my fortress for the heal. Oh well, I will live with that. Here come the Palace Guards. Rumen and Orif in the back at level 3. They actually retain their separate leaderships, for those who don't know. I didn't, honestly, I couldn't remember that. I didn't remember that, actually. Yeah, I didn't remember that. That's what I should have said. So Celeborn, what makes him so important to go for? Firstly, Lord of the Golden Wood fights to protect his land from invaders. Each enemy hero in a medium vicinity grants Celeborn damage and armor up to 11 times. I can't think of a single faction that can get 11 heroes other than the company of 13 dwarves with Thorin's company, but that's because half of their heroes are summons. Yeah, then he gets a Silver Blade, which gives him extra attack speed and experience, and is boosted by his last power, like all his other abilities are. Oh, look at how they level up! Yes, yes. To start getting... Oh yeah, elves don't get... These elves don't get armor. Only the Palace Guards and the Galadriel have armor, technically. I mean, the elves of Mirkwood kind of have armor, but they also have the Ambush of the Wood Elves ability, which all basic Wood Elves get. Oh well, he was going to die. Oh yeah, cutting through like knife through butter. Glorious. But another Melon tree. Just keep the AI off. Keep the AI locked in their fortress. 6 power points lets us get Radagast the Brown, which isn't as strong as Radagast the Brown in Age of the Ring, but he has still got his strengths. Firstly, he has 3 different forms, either on foot, on his sleigh, or on an eagle. Eagle can sometimes be disputed as being the strongest, but when you're playing as Radagast, I recommend using him on foot. Because he has an AoE attack. He actually fights well. To say he's a tier 3 parry, better fight well. And he's on the aggressive side of your tree, so he, again, should fight really well. We got 3,000, let's get the Lady Galadriel. And some more palace guards. Let's speed on with Fran's mobilization. I prefer the old portrait to this one. They must have a reason for it though, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. Oh, he obviously gets a little heal. In his eagle state, he can summon an eagle. Because he loses his nature's breath. I think he loses... But yeah, he always has his heal. No matter what form he's in, he always has his heal. Which is, if you can't tell, really good when you have a faction that doesn't have a heal. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, Gorbag, you stood no chance. We need more infantry. We're getting more infantry. Did we really lose all our palace guards? Oh no, they're here. But as you can see, the palace guards here have the... Oh! Are those new models? They look new. But yeah. Heavy armor. This unit is equipped with heavy armor and therefore cannot hide near trees. So obviously the normal wood elves and the normal... the normal wood elves of Lothlorien or Mirkwood, they can hide in trees and they gain the ambush ability. The palace guards, when they get charged, they slow the trample and they gain armor. And yeah, obviously being pikes, they will normally just kill the enemy the second they get touched. Let's have Galadriel just run around. No, let's not have Galadriel run around. Let's have Orifin run around, or Rumo, whichever one it is. I always get them mixed up. I always do. It's a fault I cannot really work with. Oh yeah, and the Melon trees, once you get level 3, get a special power. You can go for Border Guard Spy Post, which gives them extra vision range. Billowing Fog, which means you can hide your units inside the area in the fog. Or you can go for the Banner Protection, which gives a 20% armor reduction to enemy units, which is probably the best if you're going for the on the defense or slash offense that leads to defense. If you're planning to go on, if you're planning to beat down your enemy in a lockdown area, I say Billowing Fog is the best because that way your enemies would have to destroy the Melon tree to see your units. But if you just want vision in the early game, Border Guard Spy Post is also good. They all cost 100, so it doesn't really matter what you go for. They're all good. But yeah, compared to Isengard, this is a doddle. And this is still a hard AI. Granted, it's not a brutal. Brutal Mordor would be very annoying. But comparing it to say I've actually been playing well, I've not just sat in my fortress all day, I've actually been pushing out with a strong force, which I know can beat Mordor forces. Because let's face it, if you just sit in the fortress and your enemy just throws troops into you for the good half of the game, they're not getting anywhere. They're not going to do anything and not going to do anything. They're not going to go anywhere for a while. You can also get Legolas and Thranduil eventually. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. That unit cost 1,500 and just watch it getting shreked. It did nothing, and it did literally nothing there. Whereas if they actually use them against my army, which has no pikes, they stand a chance. Yeah, I know for a fact that AI isn't always smart enough to do the right thing. So I take that to my advantage. Obviously, when they spam siege equipment in the first 5 seconds, you can't really do much against that. I don't care. I'm going to complain about it as much as I want. Yeah, the Galadriel have received a slight change in look in their portrait, and they're now wearing their blue cloaks. They're not just wearing their full gold attire and not wearing their cloaks anymore. Because let's face it, the cloaks make half of the Galadriel, really. Because they were voyagers coming to the aid of the men of Rohan in the movies, not the books. Books was very different. They did not help at all. They did not care. They were too busy dealing with Dol Guldur. So then, Galadriel, you have your husband's armor. Give it to him. From behind. That's right, the woman can do that too. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Oh. Yeah, other than the changes I've mentioned, Lothlorien has again received little to no changes. Obviously, as I mentioned, Galadriel's locked behind the Sanctuary, so you have to get that for her. The Armory locks off Celeborn, or it might be the Galathrun Quarters. I don't actually know. It doesn't say. It does not say which is which. In retrospect, I probably should have tested this, but I couldn't be bothered. I wanted to actually stand a chance of victory here, and if I didn't do this, I would not have a chance. So yeah. Finally, we have the Entmoot, which... Oh yeah, they brought back the Ash Ents, which has not got a limit like it used to. So always go quick beam to begin with. Don't question it, just always go for it. Also, Grimbjorn's got a new portrait. The Bjorning got a slightly different portrait. It's just a slightly more zoomed out view. Oh, this has gone so much better. Next, let's show off the Queen of Twilight. In place of a Dark Lord, you would have a Queen! Yeah, for those who didn't see the 4.5 patch updates, basically, you lost 2 of your powers to give Galadriel the Ring Hero states. The Blessed state is gives her extra attack and vision range, speed and damage, so basically it makes her more valuable in her normal state. But it also summons the Vigor Lot, which used to be one of your tier 10 powers, but it doesn't do anywhere near as much as it used to. It just shares the bonus that Galadriel has to your other troops. But in the Queen of Twilight states, you summon a tornado, but you gain... It's basically as if you accepted the ring for that time. You get all the powers you would have at the certain level of Galadriel, so you can even use all her powers, which, if, by the way, you hadn't noticed, in the recent patch, in place of a Dark Lord, you would have a Queen, not dark, but beautiful and terrible as the dawn, treacherous as the sea, stronger than the foundations of the earth. All who love me shall despair. What do you want? Oh, that was the Bjorning. Which, by the way, has received no change. They just have different portraits for some reason, which zooms them out, which I don't really like. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel right. Treacherous as the sea doesn't actually do a tornado anymore. It does a... it is your other tier 10 power. So basically... I've already said so basically so many times now. Your old tier 10 powers have been locked behind Galadriel, the Vigor Lot, and the tiers of Manwë, or whatever it's called. And you've got 2 new tier 10 powers. Risk to call out all spellbook powers by 25%. And some of the Circle of Huorns, which lock in enemies and damage them. So, they're not bad. They're not as good as they used to be, I'll admit. I will admit they're not as good as they used to be. Because of the fact you need Galadriel to make them work. But let's face it, Lothlorien is not Lothlorien without Galadriel. And then we've got good old Treebeard. Being summoned faster by Quick Beam, which is again why you pick Quick Beam first. Cheaper, and he can summon Ents faster with the Entmoot's ability. Which lasts a recently good time. I've summoned 2 Ents currently with that power. And I might get a third. I might just have enough time for a third.
You will follow me.
Did I get the third? I did not get the third because my command point limit's been reached. Oh well, we've got 3 Ents though. The Ash Ent is a always melee-centric Ent, which has a stomp. So basically a mountain giant without the throw stone. Quick Beam and Treebeard can always switch between their stones and not. Treebeard gives all Ents armor, damage, experience, and attack range. Quick Beam just moves faster than other Ents because he is, in the books, a hasty Ent, which has never really been seen before. Well, isn't well known in many of the old Ents, which are known to be more slow and somber in their old, very, very old age. It's not ageist, that's just truth. That's just the truth. Yeah, Quick Beam does things faster. Treebeard can summon Ents, which by the way are 2 more Ash Ents. They're not normal Ents which can throw stones. That'll be overpowered. Yeah, 2 Ash Ents for a relatively good amount of time, which has been reduced a little bit, I think. Because, yeah, Ents were Ents weren't strong. They were just these ash Ents are really good. Many of these trees were my friends. Wow, they heal fast. Holy hell. Either all my units died that had no health, or they just healed really quickly. Yeah, look at that. Look at that healing. That is really quick. Let's get Legolas and Thranduil, and then we'll have all our heroes. Suppose you've seen Entwise on the borders of the Shire. Let's have all the Ents onto a different command group. So Radagast come out on his eagle to defend here. Yeah, in his eagle state, he gets 2 new powers. The throw an eagle down for a second, then he leaves. Instead of actually summoning another eagle, because that'll be pretty strong as well. These will fly to a certain location. You can put them anywhere on the map. And they will fly from that... Oh!
I am Legolas of the Woodland Realm.
Yeah. They'll just show up and just kind of fly for a while around that area to show you what you want to see from the corner of the map. It's probably best to do it around the centre of the map, because then you'd actually get more vision range from it. But yeah, that's that. Finally, we have the Beornings, which I'm going to show off through Grimbeorn. You can transform them into bears, which then becomes basically your mainstream cavalry unit, because your only other cavalry unit are the Elk Riders, which are archer cavalry, which knock back enemy units, which is pretty cool. Now, does this make Thranduil summon faster? I want to know. It does not. Finally, let's get at least one unit of Guardians of Khazad-dûm. Never a minstrel. I do like minstrels, and I would normally play with them, but unfortunately, copyright makes me say no. I am patient. I can wait. We haven't got your armor either, so I'm going to give you your armor soon. Yeah, Thranduil is another one of those characters like Thorin Stonehelm. No. Like Dane in Age of the Ring and Botter, where he can adopt 3 different stances where he gets different weapons. 2 swords for small area of effect damage. Normal stance for a single target, slightly faster attack speed. And guard stance to knock enemies back around him. And he gets a staff. Which is not shown in the movies, but it was actually shown that he does have a staff. Yeah, I'll put him in his 2 sword stance, because I'm about to put him... I'm not going to put him on his elk. Don't get that until level 5. I'm going to have Galadriel come up behind him. Come on, Galadriel. Come on, Thranduil. I've got a surprise for you. There we go. She just likes handing out free things to people. She's just that kind of gal. Oh. Yeah, Grimbeorn doesn't say much in his bear state. Just kind of moans and groans. His abilities remain basically the same, other than his level 3 ability, which in this form is basically Sharku's Bite. In his human form, it turns into a cleave attack, which is similar to a spear throw, but in melee range. Then we have Ferocious Strike. Yep, that's what I was talking about. Survival Instinct. Heals nearby allied Beornings. Used to be heal all allies, but they nerfed it because, you know, Grimbeorn kind of got used without any Beornings because it was that good. Then we have Beorn's Bees. Grimbeorn, like his father before him, is a master beekeeper and can call his insects friends to his aid when he needs to. Summon several swarms of bees to deal damage to nearby enemies, similar to the Summon Locust ability of the custom creator hero. But yeah, it's basically just a small AoE around him that does damage for a while. And then finally, he's immune to arrows, he tramples enemies, gains extra armor and damage. I believe the trample just applies anyway if he's in bear form, so it only actually matters if you're not already got him in bear form. Let's summon the Huorns here, because we can't summon actually on a thing. Here we go. Baby wash in the waters turn into trees. Don't they look cute? They lock everything inside of it. Anything that comes near it gets kicked away, doing pretty good damage, but anything that does get in is basically never getting out. They will die. And I believe that also hits our troops too. Oh no, it does not hit our troops. Okay, yeah, they balanced that. I think originally it did hit your allied troops, but I think they made that. I think they decided that it was a bit dumb that you could actually lose. You could actually make something so strong, but it's actually really bad for you. It should be completely good for you, seeing it's your tier 10 power. It should be one of your best abilities. And obviously our middle power, Elven Wood, summons the wood, but also makes a tree, which you can... March Warnings and Merkle units can use their abilities after a minute, even without being cloaked. Oh, and they recharge their abilities faster. Yeah, look at that damage. Wait. Oh, I destroyed it. Well, they got a killer from barracks somewhere, so they're still alive. I want to have Galadriel kill it off. After I've talked about Legolas and Thranduil. Legolas gets his Knife Fighter, his Hawk Strike, his Elven Eye, which we've kind of already mentioned. With the Fellowship, sight range, weapon damage. It's much better as with Legolas in here because it actually helps you find the ring instead of when you're playing with the Fellowship and it's kind of just a useless sight ability. Then you get Train Archers, which looks really cool in this one. And then we have Arrowwind, which is the same as the original Arrowwind, not really any different. And then Thranduil, his father, first ability, all nearby allies passively gain armor, but you can activate it to give them extra damage as well. You get an Arcane Shield, which shields them from... the shield will be depleted after 10 hits, and then automatically generates after 60 seconds. So you just absorb incoming damage for 10 hits. So it does make Thranduil a very competent one-on-one fighter. Not as good as Celeborn, mind you, but comes close. Then you can ride on his elk, so your only mounted hero. You can then summon his palace guards, which gets doubled up if you use Galadriel's gift to give him the armor. Then finally he summons a little festival, or a feast, that just gives all your unit, that just heals everything around it. So it's a well, basically. You can only have one on the field, but if enemies get near, all the good bonuses disappear. So you can't just throw it into the fray like Sam's pot in Age of the Ring and just hope to get everything good from it. You have to actually have it in the back. You can't have it in the front. Celeborn, his last few abilities. Firstly, Protecting Winds. Surrounding himself with a gale, that protects against enemy archer arrows, giving knockback resistance and movement speed. And becomes Torrential Wind when you use Might of the Silver Wand. So again, half his power is locked behind his final power. And then finally he has Squall. For 30 seconds, Celeborn uses Strong Winds to pull enemy heroes in a medium range closer to him. Originally this was a quick second snap and everything comes to him. Now it's for 30 seconds. He just brings them in. And then Might of the Silver One. For 60 seconds, all abilities have stronger effects. Should be used in conjunction with all other abilities. So yeah, you use Might of the Silver One. This, I believe, that the bonuses gets doubled. Use this again, the bonus gets doubled. Or you actually become immune to arrows and you move even faster. Squall pulls enemies in from even further away and actually keeps doing it over and over and over again. It's nasty. Celeborn is perhaps one of the strongest hero killers in the game. Obviously, he doesn't have an ability that does an instant, like, 1,000 hit points with like an Assassinate of Grima, but you can't deny it's really good. Then we have Galadriel with her light, which after a brief duration, a blazing light breaks through the heavens near Galadriel or any hero with gifts of Lothlorien on the map, driving enemy units to flee in terror. So as you can see, can't use it on anywhere. Has to be near Galadriel or on a hero that's been granted her gift. Which, as I've mentioned already, I've already given to two people. Let's give it to Legolas as well. You've got to take it from behind. You can't take it any other way. It has to be from behind. Oh yeah, and we have these guardians which can permanently stealth for a as long as they don't move, and temporary fire magical thorn arrows, which deals less overall damage but knocks enemy units back. So kind of like the Elk Riders. But yep, take it from behind, Legolas. Get your better bow. You know, it kind of looks poorer quality. It makes his Hawk Strike and Arrow Wind even stronger. But yeah, this power can be used by near anyone that has the gift. And make enemy... So it's basically the same ability as before. But instead of just having like a flashing ability, it looks even cooler now. It's kind of sun flary, but with the mix of the actual green effects. Then we have Radiant's Aid. Any hero with the gift of Lothlorien on the map is immediately fully healed, and his abilities are ready to be used again. Use this with Celeborn, and holy balls, that is good. Oh, you can see here, it's anyone on the map. Let's have Celeborn move away for a bit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. As you can see, it's the heal, the original heal radius, made it to very small proportions. Beautiful Ray of Light, instantly healed to full, and his abilities are recharged. Use them all over again. And by the way, using all three of these abilities together is evil. Evil, evil, evil. Then she gets the White Lady's Banishment. Throw all enemy units to the ground, deals damage, and robs them of all leadership effects for a medium duration. Additionally, if a hero with Gifts of Lothlorien is nearby, enemy heroes are blown away and deal no damage for a medium duration. So Galadriel has turned from a far-ranged, fear-inducing hero to a very, very nasty support hero. Then finally she gets Nania's Cleansing. All ally units and buildings on the map are continuously healed for a long duration. Units in the vicinity of heroes with Gifts of Lothlorien additionally become fearless and calming up to the ground, and buildings are immune to fire. Originally this power was a full area of effect immunity, which I believe now is only is locked behind your Blessed Ring hero form if you reject the ring. Could be wrong on that. I probably am wrong on that. Yep, let's have a look at the Queen of Twilight's abilities more. So firstly, it's leads to tremendous power. Her magical attacks damage all enemies around her, and her attacks against buildings hit other things in the vicinity, as you can see in that tornado. Then all enemy units, heroes, and buildings deal no damage for a medium duration, and enemy units cower in fear. So it's no longer a protective protection ability. It's now a full cleansing ability. Then we have a magical flood, which just ruins anything around it, which replaces. Well, it doesn't get quite replaced by the stronger than the foundations of the earth, which is another massive damage dealing ability. And then finally you have a enemy units in the target area briefly fight for... Nope, I didn't read it all, but basically it used to be a massive AoE attack like Word of Power, but now makes everyone fight weaker. So she turns from a support to a massively powerful aggressive hero, and you can do it just like that with that power. Yeah, Lothlorien has received a big change, which I've already been over in the past. But I must say, once again, Lothlorien has been my favourite changes have been to Lothlorien. Overall, Entmoot is still my favourite faction because they just have the most elite. But yeah, Lothlorien has always got a special place in my heart. So this was the last of the overview videos for those that are still watching. I do plan to start a Divide and Conquer campaign soon. Again, thank you for those who have stayed to the very end. You've deserved to know this little bit of knowledge. I am planning to bring back Divide and Conquer. I'm not sure which faction yet. I might do a poll. I might not. I've not decided on that yet. All I know is, get ready, because it is going to be a blast. But until next time, my friends, ta-ta for now.